say congratulations to Pastor Williams.
Yes.
Amen. It's been a long time coming. Amen.
All right.
Honor to First Lady, Pastor. It's just truly been a blessing in my life. You know, if you don't have a mentor, I advise you to get one.
Amen. All right.
Because they can teach you a lot.
Amen.
Teach you a lot about the world and a lot about yourself.
Amen. Yeah.
You know, it wasn't that long ago when I called myself retired from the ministry. Things that seemed to not be going right for me.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't God's will, it was my will.
All right.
You know, but God has a funny way of getting you to do the things that He wants you to do.
Amen. That's right.
And here I am, once again, continue to doing the things that He has me to do.
Amen. Yeah.
So all you do in life, just make sure it's wrapped up in God.
Amen.
And not your own.
Amen.
And you'll see yourself going places that you never even dreamed of.
Amen.
Give a short prayer. Father God, we just want to thank you right now, Lord,
Yes, Lord.
for allowing us to gather here this morning, Lord, to hear your word.
Yes,
Lord, touch your messenger this morning, Lord.
Yes, Lord.
Open his heart, open his mind. Let every word from his mouth give you.
Yes.
In the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
You know, I titled this message today. I kind of gave you an open preamble of this message. And I titled it, Being Conditioned for the Race.
Yeah. All right.
Being conditioned for the race.
All right. Being conditioned for the race. All right.
One day, a devout shepherd had lost his Bible while he was out looking for one of the lambs. And about a week later, he saw the sheep had walked up to him with the Bible in his mouth. And he walked up to the sheep and took the Bible out of his mouth. And he looked up to heaven and said, "It's a miracle." And he said, "It's not. It's really not." The sheep said, "Because your name was written in it." Amen?
Amen.
He said his name was written in it.
All right.
The shepherd thought it was a miracle. But the sheep recognized the name and took it back to his owner.
Amen. Praise the Lord.
As we begin this message today, let us open our Bibles to First Corinthians chapter 9, and we're going to start at verses 24, and we're going to end at 27. My three speaking points today is the purpose, the plan, and the prize. Let me know when you're there.
Amen.
Are we there yet?
Yes.
And it reads, "Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the race goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever.
Amen.
Therefore, do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air.
All right.
No, I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave, so that have I preachers to others. I myself will not be disqualified for the race."
Amen.
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 As Christians, we strive to live a life inspired and for Jesus, which require the need for self-discipline.
Amen.
Google Dictionary defines self-discipline as the ability to control one feeling and overcome one weakness. The ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptation to abandon it.
Amen.
Why we don't give up when running in a race? Because our determination, our perseverance, our persistence, and the ultimate prize.
All right.
The Christian life was never promised as an easy way to live.
Amen.
And our background scriptures for being conditioned for the race, St. Paul constantly reminds us that we must have a purpose, a plan to achieve the prize we seek, because there will be difficult times, and Satan will attack. But we can never persevere without the promise of a prize, which God will keep on our behalf.
Amen.
St. Paul gave several important principles for ministry. And we're going to talk about those principles. You know, sometimes when we were coming up, when we were young, we used to have them, what we call them running buddies.
All right. That's right.
Somebody we always used to get up early in the morning and run to their house.
Yeah.
Because it was just something about that person that attracted us. It didn't matter whether they were doing the things that were righteous. It didn't matter whether they were doing the things that were wrong. All we knew was that was our friend. And we called him our running buddy.
Yeah.
But see, God has a funny way of getting our attention.
Yes,
He was preparing us for something bigger and better.
Amen.
Bigger and better. We were running races when we were little, didn't even know we were running races.
Amen.
So in 1 Corinthians, we're going to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 13 through 18. Then we're going to get down to the meat of the sermon. And it reads, "Don't you know that those who serve in the temple get their food from the temple, and that those who serve at the altar share in what is offered on the altar? In the same way, the Lord has commanded that those who preach the gospel should receive their living from the gospel." So y'all understand what I just read there? In the same way, the Lord has commanded that those who preach the gospel should receive their living from the gospel. But after I have not used any of these rights, so Paul is saying he haven't used any of those rights. It's not about the money. It's not about making money off the gospel. It's about upholding that calling.
Amen.
Jesus called them on the road to Demeatrus. And I am not writing this in hopes that you will do such things for me. For I would rather die and allow anyone to deprive me of this boast. For when I preach the gospel, I cannot boast,
Amen.
since I am compelled to preach.
Amen.
For when I preach the gospel, I cannot boast, since I am compelled to preach. Woe to me if I do not preach the gospel. Woe to me
Amen.
if I do not preach the gospel.
Amen.
So he lived and he breathed the gospel because he understands his higher calling. And he's able to put down making a profit or earning money from preaching the gospel
Amen.
because he wants to spread this word. You see, I don't know if you read the book of Corinthians in full, but the background scriptures, Paul writing to the church of Corinth, because there were some issues that had arisen. Some people was questioning whether or not he had the authority to be an apostle. And so like many of us, we have to defend ourselves. Some people don't think that we qualify for the position that we hold within our own country. And they got to question us. But we know that we have been conditioned for the race. We have been conditioned for the job.
Amen.
But now we got to uphold what we already know. Because it's not our will, it's God's will.
Amen.
God has called us because we have a certain gift and talent.
That's right. That's right.
And so Paul had to write to the church to put down this insurrection. This bad mouth, this bad talking. And so he writes to the church to defend himself. So Paul is saying that we must find common ground with those you make contact with. And we got to do this every day.
Amen.
We got to find common ground. We don't want to lose our job.
Amen.
You know, so we got to humble ourselves. We got to become meek. We have to do some things that may not be of our character
Amen. Amen.
in order to keep a straight face, in order to keep this job.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen.
And to avoid to know it all attitude. So we can't go in like we know everything.
All right. All right.
Don't do it. Come on.
We got to go in like we don't know nothing.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we're going to have to keep the peace.
Amen.
Yeah.
Make others feel accepted. Be sensitive to their needs and concerns. And look for opportunity to tell them about Christ. So this was Paul was writing the church about. Look for opportunities to tell people about Christ amongst all that confusion.
All right.
Amen.
He understood that being young in Christ, being new babes to Christ,
Yes.
was going to be attacked.
Amen.
And he knew it was easy for the devil just to slide in and get up under you.
Yes.
And have you talking bad about
Yes.
Christ.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
See, these principles are just as valid for us today as they were for St. Paul in the first church.
Amen.
The plan for achieving victory requires purpose and discipline.
Yes.
We got to have a purpose in life.
Yes.
And it starts at a young age.
Yes.
We know one day we might want to be president, or we might want to start our own company.
All right.
But it starts with a vision.
All right.
Yes.
It starts with a dream,
Yeah.
and it becomes a purpose.
Yes.
And so we know we have to acquire a certain amount of training, a certain amount of education
Amen.
to reach that goal.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
Amen.
And we have to remain disciplined.
Yes. Come on now.
So we got to take in a
Yes.
whole lot of stuff
Yes, sir.
that we might not even want to
Yes,
take.
All
sir.
right now.
But
Come
we
on.
got to keep our eye on the prize.
Yes.
On the prize.
Thank you. Thank you, Lord.
Come on.